on, guys, foodies? Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to have some fun with, are you ready for this? Squish! Alright, it's not really squish, it's acorn squash. My wife loves acorn squash. I'm not a big fan of it, but she loves it. There are there's actually a lot of different ways to do it. The simplest way is butter, salt, and pepper. We're not going to do the simplest way. We're going to do the second simplest way. We're going to use butter and brown sugar. It makes it sweeter. It's not as healthy that way. If you're trying to be healthy, you can actually make this a vegan style by using olive oil, salt, and pepper, and that's all you need to do. It's really, can't beat that. Quick vegan squash. This is, of course, going to be for us people who like to put really, really tasty, but not necessarily the greatest stuff in our faces. But there's a couple things you need to know about squash. Squash is hard, really hard. You have to cut it in half in order to work this. So what you're going to need is a good sharp knife and being really careful. The other thing is you cannot cut through the stem. Don't get me wrong, you can cut through the stem, but it makes it so much more dangerous. So what you want to do is you want to stand it on its end, start on one end and try to get it in between. See, there's grooves here and they match. So we're going to try to get into this groove here. And remember, keep your fingers away from the blade. Follow it down until you get down to the bottom. Okay, once you're down there, don't try to cut through the stem, pull it apart like this. Pretty simple, okay? You can leave the stems in. Some people take them out, it's not necessary. Oh, I will do that a little later. So, do the same with the other one. Get it started. See how hard this is? You don't want to take off your fingers. There we go. And this is a sharp knife. You know, this is my chef's knife, so. Alright, we're down at the bottom, and it just popped out. See, look, the whole stem stayed on this one. Okay, now, I didn't have a spoon handy. I should have brought a spoon out. You can do two things with this. You can scoop this out and just throw it away. You can scoop it out, put it in your compost pile. You can scoop it out, put it in the ground and grow more squash. Or you can scoop it out, put it in another pan, and cook it. People, you know, it's like pumpkin seeds. This is the squash seeds. You can cook these seeds and even the goo that's in the middle. I'm going to do that just for the fun of it. I'm going to put it on the side of the pan here because I want to see what it comes out like, all right? Let me get a spoon here. All right, got a good spoon. First, I'm just going to put it right on the cutting board because I'm not sure how much of this pan it's going to use. I'll probably I'm going to put it in a different container altogether in case it cooks faster because the squash is going to take literally 45 minutes to an hour to cook. And the seeds probably won't take that long. So we're going to just stick them right in the pan here. I'm going to rotate these because the one squash is bigger, so I'm going to put one small one and one big one next to each other so they fit better in the pan. Okay, there we go. Put this in here. Now, guess we'll have to do it this way. All right, that works. Hey, this isn't so hard, is it? Put this one over here. Actually, I'll turn it this way. And then the last one. See? It's not that hard. Okay. Fits in there really nice. Let me wash my fingers here. Oh, preheat the oven to 375 degrees. I already did that, should have said that. Before you even start, preheat your oven to 375. You're gonna want this in the bottom third of the oven. That way there's more heat on the bottom of the pan because that's where the skin is, but the open heat on the top will circulate better onto your squash. All right, now here's where this gets interesting. You have to put butter on here. I've seen some people pre-melt the butter. It's not that necessary, but what I'm going to do is rinse the extra stuff off my spoon here. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons worth of butter, and I'm going to smear it all over the edges first of the squash. Make sure you get it completely covered. Now remember, if you're trying to do this vegan, use olive oil. And again, you could use olive oil and brown sugar, because brown sugar is also still vegan. So you can do it sweet as a vegan just by switching from butter to olive oil. Okay? Then do your insides. Smear it around. Then take what's left, cut it into 4 pieces with your knife. Just drop them in the bottom. Okay. Oops, stuck to my finger. Okie dokie. Wash my fingers again. As those of you who do a lot of cooking know, when you're cooking, you're washing a lot. Okay. Now, put this off to the side. I have my brown sugar handy. You don't need to put a whole ton on here, but you want a good covering because you want it to soak in while it's cooking. We're going to move it around to the outside also. Just put it in the hole first. Oops, don't need something that big. Okay. Also got, oh, there we go. See, it's up to snuff already. It doesn't stick so good to the top, but the middle will work fine. Just put what you can out here. All right, you can see it's ready. I'm gonna wash my fingers one more time. We're gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna set the timer for 45 minutes, and then we'll check it at that point. So I'm gonna stick this in here. There we go, right dead smack there. And don't forget, Steinberg's Piggly Wiggly, Shop the Pig. That's our meat sponsor. Granted, there's no meat in this again, but obviously you can get Acorn squash at Piggly Wiggly. And everything came from there today, so very simple. So we'll be back in 45 minutes. We're gonna see the consistency and see how it looks. If it's not ready, we'll just add a little bit more time and we'll go from there. We'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, Fun Guys Foodies, I did it. I took the seeds, I got rid of the clumpy parts of the stringy stuff. There's a little bit of stringy stuff in here, but it doesn't matter because most of it cooked right off. What I did was I put butter in the pan and salt. I put it in the oven for 5 minutes, let it get in there, then I stirred it all up and put it in there for additional 15 minutes, so 20 minutes, and this is how they came out, just like this. I'm thinking I'm going to go another 5 more minutes, but no, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it right there. 20 minutes is more than sufficient. We're going to let these dry a little bit because they're a little bit wet because, you know, the amount of butter that I put in here. And then we'll just eat them. They're going to be really good. So that's how easy this is, okay? Or just throw it out or put it in your garden. Either way is going to work fine. All right, we'll be back in a little bit when I go to check out on the actual squash. All right, Fun Guys Foodies, the timer's just gone off. Let's pull it out and test it. Oh. Okay, now, this is not a temperature thing. This is a texture thing. It's kind of like baked potato. You want to poke it with a fork. All right. This feels a little bit not quite done yet, so we're going to go that other 15 minutes. But before we do that, you notice this is all the sugar and the butter has melted here. So we're going to baste the tops on each one. It's not hard. Okay. And of course the little one. Pretty easy, right? We'll put it back in the oven, set the timer for another 15 minutes, and that should be it. And then we'll come back one more time. Let me get this in here first. Just like that, all right? See you in a few seconds. All right, Fun Guys Foodies, the timer just went off. I just took it out. Look at this. Perfect, just like a potato, goes in nice and smooth. These are done. That's all there is to it. So what you have, as I mentioned before, multiple different ways, but the two simple ways, if you want to be a vegan, just don't use butter, just use oil. And you can do one of two things. You can do it my way with the brown sugar, which will make this very sweet, or you can just use salt and pepper and keep it very simple. It's obviously less calories with just the salt and pepper. But that's all there is to this. And it's really, 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 really good. You can serve them almost right away. I wait at least 5 minutes, let them cool down a little bit, because let's face it, putting something at 375 degrees in your mouth is not going to be all that great. Or if you can't eat them right away, let them cool down a little bit and then put them in the refrigerator. You can store them in the refrigerator up to 4 days, which is pretty cool. All right? That's all there is to it. So remember, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends about the show. My partner on What Happened in the World Today, Steve, came up with something funny. He said I should intentionally screw up a meal and keep the video of it. I'm considering doing that. The problem is I hate wasting food. So, but apparently a lot of people like screw-ups. So we'll see what happens. Maybe one of the things that I'm experimenting on won't work and it'll be an epic fail, and I'll do that. That's kind of the way I'm leaning. But so far I've been really lucky. Everything I've tried as an experiment has come out really, really good. So, but you never know. Sooner or later, the odds are going to say I'm going to screw something up, right? So, again, like, subscribe, and share. Pass this on. Get people to join. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Funguy The Entertainer, cooking for you.